All right, we're here in Kings Langley in Drew Gardner's kitchen, and we're going to talk about a video that we made a little while ago, but we just finally got it online. So Drew's cooking lunch right now, so it's going to be kind of quick.
Yeah, you'll hear the oven going in the background and stuff, and you'll see the dog biting me from time to time, but only little play nips.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about the video we did for L'Oreal UNESCO, and it's all about the work of
Dr. Heather Whitney.
That's it.
A scientist, a woman in science.
That's right. So part of a bursary award that they give out every year to 4 women in lots of countries actually around the world. But she's doing a study into iridescence in plants. And though it sounds like it's a really interesting subject, and it is a really interesting subject, it's actually really difficult to illustrate. Because the plants they're talking about are really, really small.
Yeah.
There were lots of challenges, and we had to come up with all sorts of really crazy solutions, didn't we?
There was a lot of challenges, like showing the iridescence in the plants, because that's something when you're seeing it in 3D, you're naturally kind of looking at it and moving a little, and that's when you get the shimmer and you see the actual iridescence.
Exactly. So we're going to talk today about some of the solutions, some of the challenges we faced. And yeah, we're going to show you how we got the iridescence on the plant at the very end. We're going to drag that in. But first, let's talk about the video.
Okay.
We're just going to watch it back now.
Yep.
And we're going to.
So we'll watch it and we'll pause it and talk about parts of it as we're watching it through.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, so here we go. Here we go. We'll start the video. All right. This is the title screen.
Yeah. We shot this on with a 5D, I think.
5D, 100mm macro.
Yeah.
The L series one. A lot of these shots are actually, I'm going to pause it right there. A lot of those shots right there were with the 24-105 IS. So they actually look really, really good out of that lens.
It's a nice lens. It's a higher quality lens than people think. It's a really sharp lens. And it's actually a very good do-it-all lens.
Yeah. I mean, some people, they complain, it's like, oh, it's not 2.8, you can't get it that wide. When we're shooting video, though, I don't want it to go that open.
I mean, there's a bit of a misnomer. I think people shoot too wide with DSLRs.
They do.
The depth of field is crazy shallow.
It's too much sometimes. So that lens, very happy with the way that it performs. So
and the image stabilization as well, a real boon.
So good. Yeah. So this is, I don't even know what lens that is. Oh, that was a good transition. Drew was like, oh, let's match up the transitions. Okay, so this shot, you may have seen the video already where we were doing tests for this shot.
Honestly, folks, I've lost weight since then. But no, it's very. No, I have honestly. That was really funny. It was a bit of fun. It was an idea which came around as we were drinking one evening.
Said, hey, we have this boom, and I'm like, what is it for? Lighting. It's to boom lights in stationary.
Yeah,
not for movement at all.
And it's cantilevered. It's super strong. It's really good. But the problem is you get side to side movement, sway, which is a bad thing. And if you buy a real crane, that you don't get that.
No, you
so
don't.
So it's the lateral movement.
A little bit. I mean, this shot right here. Let me try and rewind it a little bit. This shot that we did was actually a little wobbly, but I used Smooth Cam in Final Cut Pro 7 to smooth that shot out a little. But yeah, so it was actually really difficult to get that shot because the stand that we had it on was sinking into the mud.
I mean, just before we totally move off that, I want to say that we did all the practice shots in the backyard.
Yeah.
On solid ground. With no obstructions of branches and cables.
No trees,
and gantries.
It was like a canopy of trees and branches, and it was really hard to move the camera around.
And we had to be mindful that we were in Cambridge Botanic Gardens, and we couldn't damage anything, so we had to be really careful of it. So all our practice work, to a large extent, didn't really count for anything, because all the practice work we did in my backyard was with no obstructions and a side surface, and we had a sinking surface and lots of obstructions. But anyway,
it was difficult, and we couldn't hit people in the head with them. And there's just public walking around the whole time.
This is how the pros do it, guys. Hours of preparation.
Okay, so this shot. So this was shot with a Canon 5D Mark II, and this particular shot, the close-up, is the FX305.
XF305.
XF305, which is, you know, it's a beautiful camera.
It's beautiful. It
mixes in really well.
It does. I mean, it uses a really small sensor, though, so you're never going to get that shallow depth of field. But, you know, guess what? You don't always need that.
You don't.
Crucially, it records at 50 megabits a second.
Yeah.
So it's really, really beautiful quality. Yeah. It holds details in a way that a 5D or a DSLR
just doesn't have.
Doesn't do it. But the added bonus was we were using it really as a sound deck. And
that's kind of a big reason why we chose to use that camera
absolutely.
As our second camera.
Because it means, you know, we didn't have to use pluralize or anything like that. It was all kind of taken care of. And we used an NTG3.
Yeah, NTG3 on a boom pole. It was actually just Drew and I shooting this whole thing over the course of 2 half days.
Yeah, there's a lot of driving because we had to drive to Cambridge and we had to drive to Bristol.
Yeah.
And I think it's like all these things, there's more time spent in moving gear around and setting up them than there ever was shooting. We needed more people, really.
We needed more people, or a bigger wagon for me to drag the stuff around.
And now the dog's just bitten me. Anyway, moving on. Okay,
so next shots. So this is a 100mm macro on the 5D right there. Oh, this shot.
Shall we pause it here and just talk about this?
Yeah.
This is interesting because what we did, this is where we put the camera on a 16-35 in the back of this. It looks like a fridge, but it isn't actually a fridge. It bathes the plants in different light, so they measure how it...
the different light does different things to the plants. It's amazing. Amazing.
And their iridescence. So what we did, we put a Canon 5D Mark II with a 16-35 in the back.
And the Zacuto EVF, so we could actually frame the shot up. And we had to practice a couple times, so we could all watch it as it was going on, with everything just there.
Yeah, I mean, we got our eye line pretty right, but we didn't get it absolutely spot on in the video. But I think we get away with it. I mean, good enough. But I think without the EVF, it would have taken many times longer. You know,
because every time you put the camera in and out, and we didn't have her for very long. I think did we have her for 2 hours or so?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
That was it was no time at all.
No, we didn't have her for very long all up, and we had too many bases to cover, really.
Yeah, because we had to show all the different aspects of what she does. But this shot, I just realized, Nasty Clamp came in so handy.
Okay.
Nasty Clamp with an LED up in the corner on this side, and there was just some random little piece of something that I just ran in, clamped the light up. Otherwise, she'd be a silhouette in here.
So we've got a bit of fill on her, yeah?
Yeah.
Then it's just picking up the left-hand side of the screen.
Yeah.
Shall we carry on?
Yes.
More stuff for the viewers, so it's not boring.
Let's keep going. Okay, this shot. This shot. Drew said...
Hold the dog.
Drew said to me, he's like, wouldn't it be nice if we could show the plant spinning a little bit, but we don't have anything, and just turning the plant, it'll get all jerky, and it just wasn't gonna happen right. So, as I guess the pirates and the cowboys that we are, we invented a turntable out of professional stuff, equipment, and here it is.
This is our very own plant turntable.
Turntable.
Yeah, I haven't quite got it. Let's get it all the way on here so it doesn't break. I don't know do that because we're using it tomorrow. There we go.
Okay, so if you ever need to have a plant turn, you place the pot here, and then you just push this, and it turns. So this is the plant on top of this.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Kessler crane, pocket slider. I mean, once again, it's a brilliant idea of Lan's to do that. It really was. It was fantastic. Really did the job, and you'll see it shows the iridescence off really well. But I'd say of this project, a couple of really vital bits of equipment, which aren't killer expensive, but added a lot. One was the Kessler crane pocket slider.
Right, that was so good. Yeah.
So it's just absolutely vital. And the other one was the Zacuto EVF. Yeah,
like
really
there's
cool.
some shots. Actually, we'll get to them in a second here. So that right there.
That's the turntable.
I mean, that's it. That's the turntable. That's just you know, panning on good fluid heads. Yeah, what else to say while she's talking?
Yeah, I think we're kind of talking about this, what we wish we'd done. Oh, here you go.
Oh, this shot. Drew did this. That's the 305. Natural light coming in from the top, and Drew's like, wouldn't it be nice if she just put her hand over it? And yeah, that was nice. It's one of the best shots of the video.
Oh, thanks, Lon. I disagree. Yours are better than mine. Anyway, whatever. But the point is, it's a really simple shot. Didn't actually take that long. No. But added quite a lot to it. So yeah, just a little bit of thought and a little bit of inspiration from cinema and all the things you see. I've just paused it because we're going to talk about this. Here we go, slider at
little
work.
Slider shot, yeah. I mean, this was just more slider.
Slider.
All these shots were just kind of spur of the moment, just running out, seeing what looks good. Because I hadn't been to the location before. I didn't know what to expect, and it was just like, okay, throw the tripod there, look at it. Oh, it looks good. Let's frame it up and shoot. We
didn't have much time. I mean, what we did for the first shot. If you can just hold that in one hand, there we go. For the first shot, we used a lateral slide. Yep. Like so, to get really smooth movement. Okay. That's the first thing. And we tend not to use the handle. But it's really nice to keep it there as a counterweight.
It's like a flywheel type thing.
And so for this shot that we've just shown you, exactly the same.
Going forward.
So we just did it like so, and we just slid it in through the plant.
And it was cool how the lens hood on this was, I think, the 16-35. The lens hood kind of pushed all the hangy things out of the way as we went through it, so it ended up looking pretty cool.
We used a Manfrotto 503 head on this as well to give us maximum. Here you go, slider again. On the specimens in the tanks.
And then another crane shot.
Well, we'd spent all the time making it, so we've got to use it. Okay, nice focus pull here on the 100 macro again.
Another 100 macro.
Focus pull as we're coming down. And what we used for this, it. And this is something else that I'm off to the special equipment facility.
The facility of the equipment room. So, Drew, this was back when we shot the zebra video. Last time I was here, Drew told me he's like, it'd be nice to do some up and down movement, but the sliders, you can't really mount them up and do easy movement. It's always jerky. And so he's like, well, no, you just take the tripod, and a lot of tripods, they actually have
a geared center column, ladies and gentlemen. But what I would say, there are geared center columns, and there are geared center columns. Yeah. This is my lovely big Gitzo.
It's a really nice tripod.
It's really, really cool. And what I do, I just crank it all the way up for you, just while Lan is talking.
There we go. Okay. So that's it. That's how we got that up and down motion, was on this tripod. Here, let's back up a little. On that tripod, and there we go.
That's it.
Just lowering it down, cranking it down.
And then a focus pull.
Yeah, focus pull.
Using the
Zacuto
focus wheel.
Focusy thing. Z Focus, I think. We'll just call it. You put a Z in front of anything Zacuto, and that's their product name.
But it's it's good. It's for the focus wheel thing where you put the gears on the lens and you do the proper focus pull.
So easy.
If we just come back to this shot again, because this is quite interesting. Once again, we didn't gaffer that onto the door. That was actually there.
It was real and true right there. And what we have here is one of her students. Yeah. Crouched down on the floor, pushing the door open.
That's right.
And Drew's inside directing her. I'm out here hitting record.
And that's it.
There we go. That's how we did that.
Could have been a little bit smoother. And here you go.
Here we go.
The B.
This we had to do practice shots on. We did practice shots in Drew's backyard the day or two before. Because we didn't know. We knew the bees were going to move really, really fast. So we wanted to see how slow we could make the bees go. And we don't have super slow-mo cameras.
No.
We had a T2i which does 60 frames per second.
Canon 550D for viewers in the UK.
Yeah, 550D. And actually, it was a 550D shot, not a T2i.
It's the same thing with a different badge on it. Yeah.
So that was it, and we slowed that down to, I think, 50% using optical flow in Final Cut Pro X. So it ended up looking pretty good.
It is pretty good, and I think one thing I will say is that, you know, there's been some crazy negative things said about Final Cut Pro X, but it's got some real benefits, and it's not expensive, you know.
It's what, $300, nothing.
Worthwhile checking out, seriously, and they do a 30-day trial.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the easiest ways of editing video.
It is. It's my favorite. I haven't, since this was the last video I edited in Final Cut Pro 7. Everything since this particular video have been in Final Cut Pro X.
Yeah. I mean, initially it was a little bit buggy, wasn't it? But
yeah, it crashed a little bit, but now it's there.
It's much more stable, isn't it? And more features being added all the time. So it's,
you can do imports and exports now. It's like like
great thing is you don't have to conform footage. You can just throw anything in there.
Literally anything goes in. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
very good.
Let's keep going. Another slider shot, macro. It seems to be a theme in this with little small things is macro and slider that we've been
works so well.
We've been using quite a bit of.
We used a picture that we got from Heather, her family, her growing up and all the rest of it
back in the day.
But for the B tank, what we used LEDs to light the bee.
Yeah.
But then we couldn't let the bees escape, so we used a shower cap. You know, I've got loads of those lying around.
Me too.
We put a shower cap round, and we made a hole in the shower cap.
Taped it in.
Put the 100 macro through.
Taped it up.
Taped it all up.
There's pictures. There's pictures of those.
Yeah, I've got some stills of that.
So we'll put those down below in the post, or up above. Who knows where this video will be. Okay, so there we go.
This is really important. You know, I think in terms of setting the scene, you've got to cite where it is, and Heather used to go to Cambridge University, so we wanted to show this spaceship-style building, but it's really important as part of the narrative. We've got all of these flowers and plants on the left and the right, and we wanted that carry the theme all the way through, but setting the scene, very important.
Yep.
And she goes in.
She goes in.
Okay, and we're going some more. And this is, I'd say, what the, you know, I think one of the most regular mistakes that people make. They all just think, oh, it's just me and a video camera. When people have got lots of resources, they've got collect photographs, we used to call them collect when I used to work on newspapers, basic archive material. Always look for the archive stuff.
Yeah.
That lends a real weight and a real resonance that would be lost any other way. So don't just think of it as you and a video camera.
Yeah.
Think, what else is around? What else can you include in it?
Pull in whatever we can.
Exactly. Think of it more. It's bigger than just you.
Yeah.
Use what's around you. That's really important.
Yeah, it is.
Here we go.
Oh, that shot right there. Now that, out of how many shots did we do where this shot was just wobbly?
A lot. Many and a lot.
Just, you know, when you shoot with two people, you just have a limited amount of gear that you can bring. And with the limited amount of gear we could bring, all we had was a, what did you call it? It's a Avenger?
It's an Avenger. It's if you go over onto my blog, not his, mine, all mine. If you go over onto my blog,
he has the equipment list of everything we shot with.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you can see every little piece of gear.
I think it's the Avenger A475B.
It's a really nice stand that you can turn it into a boom, and you know us. Like, let's put a camera on it.
It's great, but the advantage it's got over the normal Manfrotto stand is it's got square legs and it's heavier as well, stronger, which means it can take much greater loading than the standard boom stand. It doesn't actually cost that much more. Worth checking out. It's one stand forever. That'll be it. What we wanted to show here was if you have a look, this is the shape of a shell, and the architect who designed this obviously wanted to have the theme of a shell cut in half.
Yeah.
So we put a camera up the top center, and we've got a still as well, which will either be above or below this presentation.
Somewhere.
We've got a camera shooting back, and then we've got, for the reverse shot, we've got another one going up. But once again, the slider.
Oh yeah,
the slider at work. Let's watch this move again. There you go. Subtle movement.
Subtle movement, and it. I mean, it really. I mean, it makes the two shots completely different too.
Yeah.
And you know, this shot, even though I'm really happy with it right here, it's a slider shot, but you can barely see it.
Let's try again.
Look at that. You barely notice it.
Isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, it's still good establishing. This is where, this is where she went to school.
This shot is very interesting. We just left the 305. Well,
where she teaches, not where she went.
Yeah, it's where she now teaches here. But we use an XF305 here. That's the full form camcorder.
Yep.
Why did we use that? Because it's got focus tracking in it. So what we did, we just put it onto the intelligent autofocus. So as she's walking towards us, it's tracking all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't have a focus puller with us, and we're trying to operate
Actually,
God knows how many cameras.
This shot, because at this point we had her for only about 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, we're not going to ask her to do it over and over and over. So we just said, okay, walk. I think she walked once or twice, and we had 5 cameras rolling.
Yeah, it's a bit excessive actually, but it gave us lots of options.
It did, because we didn't know exactly which angle would cut in well. And so we just overshot it.
Okay, and now I'm going to carry on now. This once again the slider, and we made sure that we got somebody from the next class, because Heather was busy, to actually draw pictures of plants and Latin names on the blackboard, just to give that extra edge of authenticity. And we got some of the students to hang around. Yeah. We got them along especially for it, and we got them to talk to. We got her to talk to them. Yeah. About what it means to win the award and how great it is to get recognition as a female scientist. Yeah. So yeah, there's a nice shot as well. Slider. I think we cut to a second. Do we go to a second? No, we don't.
No, maybe not.
God knows how many angles we had on that.
All right. So again, about this shot though, we wanted to add more in. Yeah. We wanted to light the background a little, put something in. After we were done shooting, it was just the time. You just run out of time when you're shooting. And
also, we didn't get a chance to scout this location out. If we'd done that, we would have thought, hey, we could really do with something in that background.
Is it burning?
Yeah, I think it might be actually.
It's kind of smoky in here.
We've got lamb cooking for Sunday lunch. Yeah. And it's kind of getting a bit smoky in here, so we're going to carry on.
Oh, that's it. The video's done.
Okay.
All right, okay. So that's it.
That's it. And
final thoughts, Drew?
We achieved a lot with not very much. Yeah. But I would say there is a cost to it, because really we could have done with at least one more person.
Another person would have been so nice.
Yeah, but a 2-person
shoot. Or a dog.
But it's on a budget. We did it. We pulled it off.
Yeah.
Client loved it. It's going well. So that's going to be something that's going to help us move forward with other projects. So but we learnt a lot, and I hope you found it really useful.
There we go. All right. See you next time.
Okay, cheers.
Bye.